you see it. So it's like the criminal attorneys are the ones with the most insight to see, okay, how was this person treated? Now, I personally have had, a couple of Black defendants or clients of mine that had cases literally dismissed. And I know that they were arrested and they went through the thing because they were Black, and, those judges that have done that, I know they didn't have to. I mean, by the book, they could have given these people time, probation. And we all know that, if I have probation on my record, it's not the same as if, a Black citizen has probation on their record, because it just destroys their record. So, it's kind of like just little nuances like that. You don't see that in the paper. You don't see that in whether they're Democratic or Republican. Okay. So when you're looking at judges, how do you vet them? Because the people that are supporting the people that I'm talking about are that are just out liars, racists, that I've heard them say N-word to my face. Okay. And again, this is at the very micro local level. Okay. These people are being supported by Democratic, associations because they're registered to vote Democratic. Okay. And they're going by party lines. So a lot of people are asking, we have so many judges on the ballot this year. Who do we vote for? Well, the Democratic caucus. And I'm sorry to say that even the Black caucus is supporting these people only because they're Democratic. So, so the question is, how do we get it out there, better vetting at the local level? Because it is not a party line. I'm sorry, if your issue is, abortion, the local judge who does the arraignments for misdemeanors, it doesn't matter. If he's racist, he could be as pro-life as they get. If he's racist, you're going to jail, but I'm not. Okay. So I feel like I'm late to the party because I know it's a week before that, but I wanted to get like an ask a lawyer type thing. Who do I vote for? But it's just so minutia, I know I'm going to try to do better, after this election. We only have a week left, but I wanted to get some type of ask a lawyer with a bunch of friends of mine, on Facebook. We were going to do that. Who are the judges? What records do we have? I'm rambling, I know. So anyway, that was just kind of my comment, my opinion, and I don't have an answer, but I want to do better. I want to give back more. And I just,
I'm so glad that you brought that up, Teresa. We talked about that as a tool for returning citizens, right? And so you got to go to the horse's mouth. These are people who have had direct experience with some of these racist judges, and they are people that we need to look for, which is a way to include them into the process of assessing these candidates as well, right? I think we have a great suite of folks who have already been in the public defender's office that are running.
Yes.
And so that's been helpful as well, is getting their opinions. But I feel like part of the reason why we're one of 3 states that's left that votes for judges is for this exact reason. There literally needs to be a panel that collects data on those judges, that provides that data publicly for people to assess. So we know that if they're putting more Black people in jail because of the same crime as a white person, and they're giving them more time, and they're giving first offenders records and all of those things, that we have those records to go off of, and that we use a panel of experts to help provide ethical and whatever other consequences are necessary for those judges. And so that is the way that it can be done and has been done in other states as well. We still have, because it's in the frickin' Constitution, we still have all of this. You have to go through these 75 different judges. And again, and for some of them, it's completely obvious and we know. And some of them are even running unopposed. So there's almost no way to get them out because there's nobody else to choose. There's not even a none of these option underneath their name on the ballot. So I think there's a lot of, I know that there's a lot of support for moving away from voting judges in, because it's just, there's just too many, and it's too many different things. And then B, really looking at a way to hold them accountable and making the information public so that people can make these fair assessments about whether or not they should be in power. I'll offer one anecdote. I live out here in Summerlin, and the guy, I think his name is Scott, who's running against Dee Butler for family court. He walks on the same trail as I walk with my girlfriend. So we meet up with his friend, and he's like, oh, what do you do? And I usually don't tell people what I do. I usually just say I'm a housewife because it makes it easier for the conversation. But my girlfriend was like, oh, she's a political consultant, because she knew he was running for office. And he had the nerve to ask me, oh, what would it take for me to win your vote? And I told him exclusively, I said, first of all, it's after the primary, and I'm a political consultant, and I look like the person who's running against you. And so I promise you, you would need to be a Black woman in order for you to win my vote. But that supremacy and privilege are what allowed you to even ask me that question after knowing that information about me, that there was some way that you were going to convince me that your white male perspective was what we still needed in the judicial system, right? And so, at the end of the day, Mel talked about it. We're going to break down this systemic racism. We're going to put policies in place, but we do absolutely need to do that, specifically with judges. They are the people who are crippling our community, right? So yes, the cops have a role, and the line coroner has a role, and the management structure in the police department has a role, and the corrections officers have a role, and the judges, and all of these folks, right? But at the end of the day, we have to have a way to make these decisions, and we have to make that information public. And that doesn't mean just having a website, and it doesn't mean just having a Facebook page, because my 90-year-old grandmother with her flip phone can't go to Facebook or to your website with her no Wi-Fi living on the historic West Side. So I'm done with my.
I just want to add that.
And I think that, Robert, you wanted to make a comment, and then I'm actually going to hand it back over to Dr. Renee. I think, Robert, you're going to be our last comment tonight.
Okay, and I was, because I mess with public defenders and Mass Liberations, which are ex-felons, an organization that's pretty big, and we have seminars and Zooms about different judges, and a lot of the public defenders speak on just what you were speaking on. They speak on the judges, that they go up there, and when they see a Black male, they raise their bell, and it's just, we need to vet more diverse judges. So we need to put more African-American, Latino judges, Asian, that relate to what's going on in this world, because the old way is out, but we have to vote them out. And I think by dealing with the public defenders, they tell you who does what, and you get it from the horse's mouth. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you so much, Robert. This has been an awesome rally tonight. Yendra, you were so good. Thank you for all that valuable information that you provided for us tonight. And Teresa, thanks so much. You guys, what you might not know, I invited Teresa to the call. Like she said, she's a local attorney. And Yendra, you brought up the question about all these judges and us not knowing anything about them because they don't advertise like the presidents do or the vice presidents because of money. And there's so many. Most people don't even take the time to vote for the judges or to find out what they're about unless you've had some type of experience with them or somebody in your family. But I think a forum like this is a great opportunity for collaboration, because although it's too late for us to do anything for November 3rd, I believe moving forward, we could collaborate and put some things together so that we can vet these people. I know one of the judges that's running had some type of public something going on, and Teresa commented publicly, hey, are you still using the N-word like you used to on the public forum? And then people start chiming in, and then people, other people commented and found out that, behind closed doors or behind, doors that we weren't invited to, that this judge was using the N-word and saying all kind of derogatory thing about people of color.
And I don't have a defamation lawsuit against me.
And it takes,
somebody accused me of using the N-word.
Wow, people, they have to be exposed. But like I said, a forum like this is a good opportunity for us to collaborate and put some things together early on to address some of these issues that we see coming forth now. But I know this has been a long night, but I want to thank all you guys. Melvin, thank you so much for your insight. Thank you for what 100 Black Men Las Vegas is doing. I want to thank Larry Mosley, who's on the call, who's the founder and former president of 100 Black Men, your current president, Gentry Richardson. I just want to thank all of you guys. Christine, thank you so much for being our moderator on this evening. And Caesar, you're always awesome. I met you on one of the other calls and just thought you were incredible. Thank you so much for what you're doing around the country and encouraging people to vote and just the other things beside voting that you are out here doing for just citizenship, period. Thank you so much. And I want to thank all the participants for taking time out to participate, because I know your time is valuable and everybody has a choice on how they spend their time. So thank you so much for spending it with the people from the Samuel DeWitt Proctor Conference as we try to power the polls. So I would just like to challenge everybody to continue doing what you're doing. And all the way up until November 3rd, please encourage everybody who can to get out and vote early. I've been telling people, please don't wait till November 3rd, because my fear is that these lines are going to be so long that people will be discouraged. And I don't know, I know people play games. And I don't know in our communities what kind of games are going to be played, but I just fear the lines are going to be so long that people aren't going to want to stay. So please, anybody encourage them to vote. If it's somebody who you have contact with, who you're not in fear of catching COVID or getting anything, please give them a ride to the polls. But don't take for granted that your relatives, that your friends are voting. Ask them, remind them, please, even if it's just reminding them to send in their ballot, if you could drop it off for them, whatever you could do, please just do it, because to me, this election is so critical. And I know every time an election comes up, people say vote like your life depends on it. But I believe the changes that could be made from this election will just be, affect generations to come. So please, thank you for all that you're doing and all that you're going to do. Thank you so much.
Dr. Dupree, may I say one thing real quick?
Sure. Hi, Mr. Mosley.
Hey, I want to thank you for the role that you play in this community and the partner that you have been with the 100. Several of you have stated that, again, we've got to look at what our future is. Our future is young people. And if we want them to come up and ready for the next 4 years, think about this. We need to make sure that we are collaborating with our youth right here and right now to make sure they are ready for the next 4 years. But again, I thank all of you and all of you as partners. Carmen, it's always a pleasure seeing you, sweetie. Take care.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you all so much. I appreciate each one of our panelists for bringing such a wealth of information. Thank you to the Proctor Power of the Polls and to the Samuel DeWitt Proctor Conference for providing a venue for this awesome conversation. Again, I have your registrations up, and I also have the recording for tonight's event. So I'm going to actually provide that recording to you all, hopefully by tomorrow afternoon. Thank you all so much, and everyone have a good evening.
Thanks, Christine.
Thank you. Bye-bye.